All right, forgive me for doing a deep dive into this wood grain paper, but it is way too much fun, and I want to discover as much as I can about it. Let's do a little test to see what type of colors show up over the top of this paper, okay? I thought I would try. I want to keep things really simple though, but I thought I would try some paint pens, maybe some alcohol pens, and colored pencils, okay? So let's start off with just a real simple composition here. And I'll do something that I've been doing with this winter ash tree and giving it some spring blossoms. I guess it's really fall right now. We can give it some fall blossoms or something like that if we wanted to. But I thought maybe pink would go really well with this color of brown. You know, but that being said, fall would probably look fantastic with it too. All right, let's see. Let's get this tree situated on here. It's pretty big, so it's going to fill up a good portion of this. And again, I'm using the StazOn ink. I just found that it seemed to work really well on this paper. That portion right there stamped out a little bit lighter. But I was finding that with some other inks, I don't know, they were stamping out a little bit light, okay? Test out other types of inks, test out your solvent inks. I think Brilliance worked on it pretty well. The dye-based ink is the one that came out really, really light, okay? And the Claire, as I keep telling people, test out the Claire with a re-inked Claire, okay? I have a feeling it would perform better than my semi-dry one, okay? It's not too dry for white cardstock, you know, uncoated cardstock, or even, you know, the semi-gloss or glossy one. But on this one, this paper's a little bit more sealed off because it is printer's ink on here, not the type of sealant that, whatever four color printing ink is on top of this surface right here. Probably the yellows, I don't know, some combination of cyan and magenta, and I guess it's probably four color printing. All right, let's see if I have room for this quote. Art is a harmony parallel with nature. I don't know if I left room for it here. Yeah. I'm gonna have that E going into that tree a little bit. I really wanted this quote here because I don't know, just the colors that I'm going to be using in the form of little dots. I thought it can look somewhat impressionistic. Okay, yeah, something like that. A little bit close to the edge, but I'm going to frame it off. All right, let's see how this goes here. All right, so, let's test out some alcohol inks. Now, I tested it out a little bit before, but I haven't really done it in a complete scene, so let's check it out. All right, so I'm going to go in with this really, really pale green here. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this because I did color with StazOn here, and the alcohol ink, if it's wet enough, it'll put that StazOn back into solution. Okay, so I almost forgot about that. Let's go with a couple different tones of green. Now I've just been doing really, really minimal types of coloring on this so far because I wanted everything to be a really, really quick scene. And this one will be too, I think. But let's go a little bit more vibrant with a little bit more blending. Okay, so let's just lay down some green here. Okay, that's a light green, but I put down a pretty decent slathering of it. Here we go with a little bit of yellow green. A little bit of a warmer green, of course, if it's kind of yellowish. And here's a darker green, okay? So we'll start it from the base. I'll kind of have it a little bit more weighted towards the bottom of the scene, I guess. And you can do it the opposite. You can go dark to light or dark to light that way, you know, top down or bottom up. We'll go a little bit darker here on each of the sides just to kind of frame off the piece a little bit more. And then underneath this tree, by this trunk here, and I'm doing it with this darker green here, I'm going to create a little bit of a kind of a shadow. I kind of have it going off to this side this way, so we'll do the same thing with this horse. I'll put the tree, the shadow, a little bit more to its what is that? To its right here. Okay. And go with this darker one, a little bit on the edges again. So that kind of anchors things down a little bit. Let's go for a little bit of variation in here. And what I'm doing is on the sedge filler stamp, wherever it went. There we go. I'm darkening in some of these areas right here, some of these little textures in here, just to make them a little bit more varied, so it's not just like a flat surface in here. So, yeah, here and there you just kind of darken in these little areas like that. I mean, you can follow the stamp. You don't have to follow the stamp. I am, because it's already a little bit darker anyway. So it's giving me a head start to that variation. But I think that looks pretty decent. I don't know. I mean, if you didn't know that there were all these kind of colored textures underneath this, I mean, you can see them right here where I didn't, you know, tone in too much. Maybe I'll put in a little bit more. I don't think, you know, someone would think, or someone could think that you were just coloring a piece of white piece of paper, you know. If they didn't see this top portion, I'm saying. All right, so I'm going to lay in some little kind of spring blossoms on this tree. All right, I'm going to use a couple different greens, and we'll go with a couple different pinks and white. Kind of a cherry blossom kind of approach. All right. So I'll lay down some of this up in the tree. Kind of make it a little bit more kind of varied in a way. This is you know, it's like we're putting in the spring leaves into the tree. Something like that. I think it looks pretty good. I don't know. I don't know, this paper seems like it can take color. And here's this other green. Maybe this green's a little bit close to the other one. Too close, so maybe no reason to use it. If you're doing this kind of spring type of thing, kind of keep this a little bit more sparse, you know. Don't lay down too much. Okay, I'm gonna wait till that dries a little bit, because I want to put some pinks up here. And this acrylic paint dries pretty fast, but not that fast, you know, not like seconds or something like that. So give it a little bit of time. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. It's almost there. But while that's drying, I'm going to put a few highlights into my grasses down here. So see where I've added that kind of darker area. Well, on the top of it, or on the bottom of that darker area, which is the top of another area, right? You have the highlights, so you put the darks and the shadows, and you put the highlights and the lights. That's why kind of leaving things a little bit more varied like that. It looks more natural looking when you do that, okay? Rather than just kind of filling it in like, oh, maybe like what a stained glass would be or something like that. Although stained glasses look great, but you don't have that variation because they're laying on a piece of glass unless it's like a huge, glass or something like that. All right, so see that little variation down there, a little bit of lighting in that section. And let's go in with some pinks. We'll go on with our little blossoms, whatever type of tree this might be. Oops, I got a lot of pink in this. I really shook this up a lot. And again, I kind of have it a little bit more varied. Cluster them a little bit here and there. I think the pink looks pretty good with against the brown, wood grains. It's kind of bringing it alive a little bit, wouldn't you say? And I'm going to put a few of these little blossoms on the ground here. All right, that's really, really wet. I really shook this one up a lot. These pens are pretty opaque. So a couple of the colors, actually, when I took off the lid, it was really kind of hardened because there's so much kind of pigment to binder ratio, I think. All right, so here comes some white. Ooh, that one's really that one's really, it was a big glob that came out. So the white is really quite light on here. I got that big blob there. Let's kind of eradicate that. Go in here with some of that green over the top of it. Same with that little pink area too. Just kind of break it up a little bit more with some leafy foliage. Okay. And this is a little bit of a lighter pink here. Okay, a little bit of a confetti looking piece right there. I got that blob of paint in there. I'll fill that in a little bit. Let's wait the little bit of paint on my fingers here. We'll wait till this dries a little bit. And I'll go in and color a little bit in here, but let's add a little bit of black though. I did stamp out my objects in black, so I'm going to add a little tinge of that black down in this lower area, transitioning the shadows a little bit more. It's pretty interesting, this paper here. Having that on there, it really makes for a pretty cool looking kind of surface, I guess. And as I was mentioning to some other people, when you start off with the antique paper or the this wood grain paper, it gets you kind of towards that end result quite a bit faster. Someone was kind of telling me that during certain types of processes, it almost felt like they were cheating, and I said, hey, there's no cheating in stamping. You know what I mean? It's whatever gets you to the that end result that you're kind of going after is, as far as the process goes, go ahead and do it. But on this one, I don't know, the scene comes together so fast. I almost really do feel like I'm, I don't know about cheating, but I don't know. Well, maybe cheating. I don't know. All right, so let's add a little bit of foreground in here. It kind of looks good as is. You don't always have to add in these kind of foreground elements, but we're testing things out, and always good to, kind of add in some different looks and techniques in that testing period. You don't want to kind of hold back on anything if you want to see what it's going to look like. All right, let me see what it's going to look like here. I'll mat it on, something like this with the gold around it like that. A little bit of a perimeter framing like that, but I think it'd look like this, kind of in the end result. So I think that color looks pretty good on there. And I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Wood tends to harmonize with just about any color. I can't think of anything color that wood grain would not go with. You can see it here with the metallics. The metallics look pretty good. Here, let me see this right here. Look at this Mary lava here. I'm not talking about like framing, you know what I mean? And I'm just looking at in terms of like color harmony. I mean, this one's a tough one, maybe not something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to kind of make my point here, kind of, say, oh, okay, now that wouldn't get, a silverish type of, holographic, maybe not. I guess it depends what you have stamped on here. But I don't know. As far as like any color goes, purples were up here. I think that would look cool. Kind of more of a fall type of color scheme, reds, oranges, yellows. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see why not. So, all right. A little bit more testing to come, but it's really been fun trying out some of these really quick things. Okay, I thought I was working on this one a little bit longer. So, under 19 minutes, quite a bit of coloring laid in here in terms of like a singular technique type of thing. But I don't know. So far, so good. I'm really pleased at with this paper and kind of all the things that I'm throwing at it, especially considering that this, paper is not really a crafting type of paper, or a paper that's been designed to take different media. It's designed to take, fallen food off of our plates in terms of the, the placemat, 11 by 17 formatting here. So anyway, look through your, your paper hoard or whatever, you know what I mean? Your cache of papers that you've been collecting over the years. You probably have some really interesting ones in there. Maybe some ones that you just didn't really consider as a viable stamping surface that, taken a look at like the vintage papers or this wood grain one now, maybe it kind of opens up some doors in terms of you know, some possible interesting looks with it that you can think of. So yeah, just test out you know, some different media, you know, if you're kind of curious to know what's going to work on it the best. And I mean, these are just black inks too. You know, I haven't even used like, you know, colored stays on or brilliance or dot, you know what I mean? Those types of things. So could open up all kinds of other possibilities, but just make sure that it, whatever type of paper you're doing, you want the medium to be able to dry and adhere to it. Now, some of them can dry on there, but maybe they don't adhere, so you can hit this with something like a spray sealant if you need to. But all the media that I used on here adheres and dries on the surface just fine, so I don't need to worry about that. But, you know, possibly there's some other ones that you might have to lock down with a workable fixative or a, you know, like a clear sealant, or glossy satin or matte, you know, any type. The cheapest sealants that people have used in the past are hairspray. So I don't know, tried some different things out, and I don't know, if you give some things a try, we'd love to see what you do, or you know, love for you to share it with me or whoever's out there that might want to learn some new things about I don't know, different types of papers. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this channel, please hit the like button, subscribe if you feel inclined, and hope to see you in the next video.